It's Mr. Newton, school counselor at Western Hills High School. Came in bright and early this morning to record a video covering introductions to the Common App, and I'll probably do a few other videos this morning, but I just wanted to give you a brief overview. The Common App is used for many colleges across the country. However, it's used for more like larger scale public and state schools like Ohio State, University of Cincinnati, University of Kentucky, a lot of bigger campuses. So if you're applying to Cincinnati State or UC Blue Ash, where you kind of know exactly where you're going, you can probably get by using the university's application that you can usually find on their website. But for a lot of the bigger schools, if you have qualifying data like 18 or higher on ACT, or a 3.5 or higher, and you're really trying to get into a bigger state school, this is probably going to be a good application for you, a good use of your time. So watch the video and let me know if you have any questions. Sorry for babbling. Hey, one more thing I wanted to let you know before you get going on this application. If you can have information about your guardians or parents, such as if they attended college, or their address, their contact information, that information will be handy when you fill this out. It also, if you have a state ID card or a driver's license, you're going to need some information on that at some point in this application. You also need your social security number. So every legal resident in the United States has a social security number. Usually you can get that from your parent or guardian if you don't already know it. And if you can't find it, let me know. We might have a copy of it here at our school. So just wanted to give you those pointers before you get going in this application. All right, here we go. So open up a new Google web page, Common App. You can just simply type Common App up there at the top. Not tutorial. I was trying to find a good video and never couldn't find a video like how I would do it. So that's why you have to listen to me. You don't have to, but I'm just trying to streamline this for you. So, like what I just clicked on, apply now right on the front page. It'll get much easier than that. So what are you going to be? You're more than likely going to be a first year student, right? So that's easy enough. Now I want you to start filling this thing out. I'm going to apply, but this is where you would put in your professional email address. I would recommend that you have a professional email address, that you don't always just get used to using your Cincinnati PS email address, because at the conclusion of this year, when you graduate, they will turn off your account. You won't have your email address anymore, or at least you don't want to bank on that you will have it, because they have shut them off in the past. So definitely make a professional email address and get used to using it. Oh, what happened? Okay, that's where it wants that. Here we go, 513. All right, date of birth. Yep, I'm old. All right, it says add address, has an asterisk again, so anytime you see asterisks, you really can't get by not putting in some information. So it does populate your address once you start typing it in. Are you currently based in the European Union country? No. What best describes you? I am applying as a first year student and plan to start college in 2021. Yep, that's going to be most of you, unless you're taking a gap year or something. But most of you will be starting college next fall. All right. Please review the following: the Common App. May share my contact information. Sure. Well, you don't have to let them do that stuff. Do you want them to text you and stuff? Sure, that might be helpful. You can always turn that off later by checking this box. I agree to the terms. It does require that you click that. Now create account. Sorry, I'm hitting my mic a lot. That has to be annoying. So it's thinking, welcome, Brett. So I'm in. I have a Common App ID up here in the top right. Make sure your email address looks correct. Okay. It just tells you this is the front page here. This is the dashboard. You can start searching for colleges. We'll go through these tabs so you understand what they are. You must first add a college to the colleges list before you can apply. Go to the college search tab and add colleges to your list. Okay, so I could start by going right here. There's also a bank down here of video tutorials. It says if you have questions about things that I don't cover here today, click on the Common App site or the tab. This is the information that's going to be universal for all applications. So you see how there are these different sections? You will have to click on each of these and fill them out as you're applying. So, and again, as you see these red asterisks, means you have to fill something out. It won't let you submit this application without doing that. So please go through this and look for those red asterisks and fill them out. And as you scroll down, if I filled out everything here and click continue, now it would pop up the next section. So address comes up, it's asking me questions about it, then contact details, demographics, geography is the next section, where was I born, how many languages am I proficient in. If you're just proficient in English, then you would just put one. If you can speak English and Spanish, or English and French, or English and another language, then it would be two. Citizenship, what country are you? If you currently have citizenship, so most of you, that would be the United States. Common App fee waiver. This is an important part. So I remember colleges want to make sure your application fee does not pose a barrier for any student who wishes to apply for admission. If you feel that your financial circumstances might qualify you for a fee waiver, you're going to want to put yes. Please put yes to that. You must meet at least one of the following economic needs to qualify. You can tell them that you get free ACT waivers. You only need to have one, so just click on that one and you'll be fine. Obviously, they want you to sign, so put your name down there. I would like to receive information from Strive for College. You can look it up and see if you want to do that, but it's not required. So now, I started in this profile section. Now it's moving me down into family. So as I continue to hit continue and move through this whole thing, it'll move me down all of these. So education will obviously talk about your high school background, testing, in addition to sending official scores as required by colleges, do you wish to self-report scores for future test dates that you have coming up? So you can tell them if you're taking the ACT or SAT coming up. Um, international applicants, so obviously you would leave that blank, but there's no asterisk, so you don't have to fill that out. Activities. Again, this is another area that make you shine on your application if you are a well-rounded student who's participated in a lot of groups or volunteered or different sports or whatever throughout high school. This is the opportunity to start letting them know. Yes, I want to tell you what my extracurriculars have been, and then you start bragging on yourself. Sometimes if your GPA is just so, if you have a lot of other activities and leadership and volunteering that you've done, that will make you shine on paper. That can be the difference in getting you accepted to a specific school of your interest. And then you see a section down here that says writing. So if you're taking Miss Thole, she may have already talked about how there is a Common App writing essay section. So some colleges require submission of personal essays with your Common App. You may submit a personal essay to any college, even if it's not required by that college. If not required by college, you will be given the option during submission to include your essay or not for the college. Yeah, I get it. So here's a list of the colleges on your dashboard and whether they require a personal essay. So I don't have any colleges on my dashboard yet, but um, these are the Common App prompts. So you would click the one that you want to type your prompt, type your essay for, and you would put it down here. You'd attach a Google Doc to it, right? So once you start adding colleges, they will populate here, letting you know if it requires the essay or doesn't. Then after you hit continue, you'll go to your disciplinary history section. Have you ever had any major violations? Hopefully you're saying no to that. If you have any questions about that, let me know. If you ever had like a minor fight or you got in some slight trouble here at school, but nothing major, never got any charges pressed against you, it's probably better off than not to say no. But let me know if you have any questions about that. You also, because if there's something on your record, you still do want to be honest about it. So let's talk if you have any concerns about that question. Next section. This is just talking about natural disasters and COVID-19 have deep impact. This is your space to describe those impacts. So if you've been affected by COVID-19 or other things, this is your chance to say, yeah, and then talk about it a little bit. Okay. All right. So once I hit continue on that, it goes to courses and grades. Again, it's going to let you know if the colleges you're applying to want you to put more information about these. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that right now. This is where we do a college search, so we'll move on to that here in just a moment. But if you wanted to learn more about financial aid, which we'll talk about this week, this is a great section to show you and teach you about different things as it relates. I might use this in class. All right, so let's go back here. For most of you, if you're applying using the Common App, there's a good chance you're going to be applying to the University of Cincinnati. So just type in Cincinnati, UC pops right up. You see Blue Ash on here too, because they let you use the Common App if you want, or they let you apply using the application on their website. So I clicked on it. I see some different information about the school. I want to add it to my colleges. All right, they are on here. Again, you can see so it does say Common App personal essay is required. College questions, they have one specific question that they want you to answer relating to UC. But if you added another school, as you can see, if we do this a few different times, let's put Mount St. Joe. Let's see if they're on here. Bad example. All right, how about Xavier University? All right, there's Xavier. Let's see what their requirements would be. So I could add them if I wanted to. I do have a little bit higher admissions requirements than you see in other schools. As you look down here, it says that they have an essay that's also required, but they don't have any additional questions. Where UC did have a question, they don't. So you can see they would want a school council recommendation, a school report. You can also send teacher evaluations or letter of recommendations like we've been discussing in this class. And you can learn more about it that way. So if you want to continue to look up different schools that you're considering, like Ohio State perhaps, so they say applicant who selects the honors and scholars or the moral scholarship program will be required to complete additional writing sections. So just read this front page of any college you're considering so you can kind of get an idea of what they're going to be requiring. Okie dokie. All right, but we'll go back to the colleges section now. See, we've added UC and now they show up. So if I click on that, it'll start showing me a lot more information about the school. That was on that first page, right? But down below it, they have questions. So this is going to be another section, and I do want to point out that as you fill out the Common App, you'll get these little green check marks letting you know that you have successfully completed every required part of that page. You can still go back and edit it if you want, but getting the check marks is what you want, because once you have successfully achieved check marks in all of these sections on this tab and under the Common App tab, you'll be able to successfully pair your Common App to your Naviance account, which I'll talk about, and successfully submit all of your documentation to the colleges of your choosing, right? So back here, questions. You're going to want to start in the fall, more than likely, of 2021. So more often than not, you're going to choose rolling admission. We'll talk about what early action is in class. See if you did choose that right now. Just wondering if it would try to explain that to you. All right. It says this top test optional this year. You wish to be reviewed with or without a standardized test score. I want my test scores considered for my application. You see, I do not want my test scores considered for my application. So that's talking about your ACT scores. Do you want them to see your scores and consider that as when you're applying or not? We'll talk about that, whether that's a good idea or not in this class as well. Um, but for this application, we'll say, yeah, please consider them. So go through these things. Again, you're aiming to get check marks in all of the sections. This section here, recommenders and FERPA. It says before you continue your application, we need to know your current or most recent secondary high school information. So that's on the other page. Under education, you'll have to have filled out all of this before this FERPA section would let you complete it. It's really important that you make sure, again, like you get all these check marks. So start filling this thing out and let me know if you have questions, and we'll go from there. I started filling this out so I could let you know if I ran into anything interesting as I started filling this thing out. As you can see, I'm getting those green check marks I discussed. I got to the citizenship section, told them that I'm a U.S. citizen, and now it does want my social. So again, you're going to need your social security number. It's time for you to start committing it to your memory. As you go into the adult world, they're going to ask you for that number a lot. If you don't know yours and you don't have access to it at home, then please let me know and I'll see if I can help you retrieve it. We might have it here at the school. So let me know and continue on. In the family section, they'll start asking you questions about where you live, who you live with. So to answer that honestly, think back to the last year of your life because that's how you'll need to think about it when we do your FAFSA as well. So in the last year, who have you lived with primarily, or who has supported you financially primarily? If you're floating around between some people, but still a mother, a father, a grandmother, or whoever is like kind of helping you out most often, feeding you more often than not, putting a roof over your head more often than not. That's who you're going to want to use. Um, but if you have a unique situation, please talk to me about it and just be honest because we just got to work it out for you uniquely. So I supplied one parent's information on this, but again, it didn't require that I give my parents' phone number or um, it did want an address, but obviously I said that's the same address that I put in for myself. They do want to know, I guess they want to know the occupation and the educational level of your parent. So just put something in here. Um, but if it's other than what you see here, then obviously you can just put that other. And they don't necessarily require other details, but you could even put unemployed if that was the situation. Employment status, unemployed. Here we go. Educational level. How much school did your parent or the guardian that you identified complete? Maybe some high school. Or did they graduate from high school? Say that. Okay. But just be honest. If you have another parent you want to put information for, you are definitely welcome to. Or you can say I do not have another parent to list. Or I have limited information about this parent. Again, just be as honest as you can when you fill this out. That'll work out better for you. How many siblings do you have? They do want some basic information about your siblings. Don't ask me why. But again, just be honest, fill it out. That this is information that every single college is apparently wanting to know. So just be honest about that. Now it wants to know about my most recent school information. So I'm going to continue filling this out, and I'll let you know if I come across anything unique. Oh, I should have just continued my video, but I quickly was looking at this and went, okay, just want to make sure that you enter the date of entry when you started high school accurately. So if you're graduating this spring, May of 2021, then you probably started high school in August of 2017. More cases than not. So just so you know, that's what you would choose. Another little tidbit when you're searching for the school that you attend, the current or most recent high school that you attended, make sure you choose Western Hills University High School. There's a couple different options on there. This is the accurate one. You are graduating in May of 2021. And the next question, please indicate if any of these options will have affected your progression through or since secondary high school. So are you graduating early or late? Did you take time off? Or did you do a gap year? So for most of you, you'll say no change in progression. But if you're somebody who might be graduating a little bit late or early, that might be you. let me know if you have questions about that. So if you attended any other high schools, other than obviously Western Hills, then you will need to indicate how many other high schools you have applied to. So just if there were no others, then you just click 0. But if you went to one other, then 1. So answer that honestly and keep moving. If you've ever taken college coursework, how many colleges did you take college coursework with? So if you took College Credit Plus work while you were a high school student here at West High, and you did it through Chatfield, maybe in addition to Cincinnati State, then you're going to want to say 2. If you took it just at Cincinnati State or just at Chatfield, then you'll just click 1. And if you didn't take anything like that, you'll just click 0. The graduating class size, you can go ahead and put 115. I think that's a fair number this year. Class rank reporting, we do exact rank reporting. You're going to want to know what your rank is. Send me a text, an email, give me a call, or ask me in class. I'll let you know what your rank is. It is located on your transcript. For mine, I'll just say that. That's my weighted rank. We report GPA on a 4.0 scale. And GPA, I can just, it's going to be something out of 4. 3.0. So here, again, make sure you do things that have asterisks. So please list all the courses you are taking this academic year. If you are not currently enrolled, please list the courses from your most recent year. So this year, your senior year, how many courses would you like to report? So look down your schedule and report on the number of classes you're taking. We are a semester school, obviously. So this is when you're going to start putting in things like English 12 or English 12 college prep. So you're taking it full year. So here is where I put English 12, and then they want to know, is this regular, standard, advanced, college prep, dual enrollment, honors? You'll be able to put more information about it. They want to know information about all your classes, so you might be taking probability and statistics. Try to make sure you spell things accurately. If you're not sure, use spell check in like a Word document or something. It's going to make you look smarter. It's good to look smart. Okay. So go on through this, answer that honestly. Keep the show moving. I'm just going to put 2 for my example, but you will more than likely have more than that, okay? Be honest. I'm in the test section. As you can see, I'm starting to make my way through this thing pretty well. Got green check marks coming on. It asks me if I want to report on any of my standardized test information. So since you more than likely took the ACT here, your junior year in the spring, last February, you at least want to put that information on here. Again, if you're using this application, it's more than likely because your data, your GPA, and your ACT scores, are pretty fair. So if you find that you are filling this out and you're like, why am I doing this? Like my GPA is really low. Like it's close to, it's barely a 2.0. It's a little bit above a 2.0 or lower than that. Or your ACT score was less than, at least 17. Then please let me know. I don't want you to waste your time. Time's a valuable resource, and I don't believe that you need to fill out the Common App, okay? But for anybody who has, data that is higher, and you're really trying to get into a bigger school, then please report your information because it should help you get acceptance into the programs you're trying to get into, right? All right, so I'm going to report on ACT information. I took it in February. Maybe you're going to take it again here in October and December. Let them know that. Let your schools know that you're still working on improving your data. Okay. If you don't have all of your ACT scores, when I say that, In February, you took it, and yeah, you got an average score called a composite, which is like the big number that you may know right now, but you might not know what your highest English section was, or math, or reading, science. So give me a call, text, an email, or ask me in class what yours were, and I'll find that information for you and get that to you. Okay? But you do have to report it. And if you have only taken it one time, then you'll always just say that the date of those scores was that same test date. I don't know if it was February 17th. I don't have that near me right now, but whenever it was that you took that test, you want to put that information in there and whatever score you received. You obviously 36 is the highest, 0 is the lowest. You want to put your scores in there. All right. The activity section, I just listed one activity, but please be thorough. If you were involved in Key Club, in the Girls with Pearls, the Moore group, maybe you were a West High ambassador with Miss Harris, or you were involved in any other clubs, leadership activities, please list everything. It's going to make you look really good. So now I'm in the writing section. It's saying that UC does require one of these essays. Please work with Miss Stoll on that, or make sure, or an English teacher of your choosing, Mr. Klein, Miss Silvernagel, or someone. So you do have to do this if you're applying to UC. This is where you get to choose the topic that you want to write on. So again, don't just submit it without having someone work with you on it. They are going to read this essay. You want it to reflect you positively. About this earlier. So if you have a pretty clear conscience that you don't have any criminal charges that you need to report, then make sure you answer no. Not been found responsible for any major violations. No would be the answer that you're looking for there. Again, if you have any other details you want to report, how COVID or other disasters or situations in your life have affected you, this is an opportunity to do so. To the essay section. I can't talk very well today. So down here it does say minimum words 250, maximum 650. So you got to make sure that your response to this question, let's see if I change it, if that changes it at all. So no. So they are requiring, minimum of 250. So if you don't get a green check mark here after you have successfully submitted this, then you either have too many words or not enough. So make sure you meet that threshold and keep moving. There's an additional information section here where, oh, we did talk about that. But after that, it takes you down here to courses and grades. I checked this list here. This pops up. The University of Cincinnati is not on here. But if the college that you are applying to is on here, then you will have to provide them information about current courses you're taking and the grades you have. That's information they'll get. Each college will receive when we send your transcript. So don't worry about it, but make sure that you fill that out. Right now, I did earn a green check mark in the writing section because I left this blank. So I think it believes I'm not going to fill this out, even though it's required. So eventually it will tell you that you have not met this requirement and it won't submit your application. So again, make sure you meet those requirements. Successfully earned a green check mark in all of these sections. I have a green check mark in all of these sections. It's all looking good. So now I want to go over to my colleges section, click on UC, and make sure I earn my check marks over here. So that is the next step. So go ahead and start working on that if you haven't earned those check marks yet. Working through these questions on the University of Cincinnati application, I got to activities section, and it said that I can upload a resume of mine. Perhaps they will send this to the academic organizations department, if that's even a place at UC. But again, it's just another use for having a strong resume. That's also something that you can work with me or one of your teachers on developing, that just lists all your activities, unique skills you have, unique accolades and credentials that you have. So please let me know if you want help with that. But you have the opportunity to upload your resume on this as well. The family section, They want to know if you had any family members who have attended UC before. So just be honest answering that if you have or haven't. In context, they want to know if they can get a hold of you. I would just recommend that you fill that out. That way they can send you information on deadlines, your admission status, and other things. And now I'm here in the residency section, and they say, do you believe that you qualify for in-state tuition? So yes, you do. You live in Ohio. You have at least for over a year in a residence here in Ohio. You want to click yes. So make sure you do that. When you are an in-state resident, you get a lower tuition, which means college costs less when you live in the state of the college, and that usually applies to any college. So being an in-state resident is usually a benefit. How long have you lived in Ohio? If you lived there your whole life, then just want to put how many years you've lived, right? All right. So I wanted to see why it didn't give me a green check mark here. I wonder why. I don't know. Anyway. Oh, now I got it. Okay. So sometimes maybe just go back and click the continue button at the bottom of each section to earn you that green check mark. So now I want to know where your guardian or parent is currently living and how long they've lived there. Again, in regards to that whole residency question. So, how long has parent one? If you filled out the parent section earlier in the ComNaps section of this whole thing, whoever you identified as parent one, how long have they lived at their current address? So, you're going to have to think back, maybe ask them, how long have you lived in this house or apartment or wherever? And get that date from them. All they want to know is the month and the year. Okay, is your parent running a legal resident of Ohio? Yep. Ask them how long have they lived here. Just answer it honestly based on information that they can provide you. And just keep on cruising every time. I think that I can stop the video and just keep moving, and then I realize, oh, I should have said something about this. So the next part of this is, did your parent or legal guardian file a tax return? A state tax return last year. So at tax time, did they do their taxes last year? So for the 2019 fiscal year, right? So people who do their taxes here this upcoming new year will be doing taxes for the 2020 year. But if they did their taxes last year, as this is asking, that would have been for the 2019 year. Okay, so ask your parent guardian that question. So where did they file? If they did file, usually it's going to be the state that you live in. Do they claim you on their taxes? Ask your parent or guardian that question. And are they going to file this year? It's a good question to ask them. Usually the answers will be yes. Will your parent or legal guardian claim you on a state return this year? Yes. Okay. So just continue to go. Keep moving. Why did you apply to each of the academic programs listed on your application? So earlier in the academic section, it asked me what programs I'm interested in. I just chose a bunch of random things, but make sure you don't just choose random things. Literally choose the top program that you're considering and then what your secondary programs of interest are. Put them in order. Sometimes colleges and the schools in those colleges fill up and then they can't give you your top choice program. So, but if you list them in the order of your interest, if you can't get into a certain program, they'll put you in the other one potentially. So you're going to want to say, you're going to want to rank those with a lot of intentionality. And here they want to know why you're applying here. This is super important, y'all. I've talked to a lot of college admissions reps, and they said that this question holds a lot of value. So don't blow it off. Again, you don't have to do it. Well, you at least have to say, I just really want to go there or something. But I would recommend that you work on this again with Miss Stoll or an English teacher or myself, just to say, so that you articulate yourself well, give them a strong case for why they should put you in a program if you're really excited about one. All right, let me know if you have questions. Wrote my strong argument for why they should put me in the programs that I chose. And now they want to know again, were there any disciplinary issues in your life? If you reported on the other page that no, you've not been found responsible for anything, you're going to want to also say no here. Make sure you don't mess this up. Have you ever pled guilty or be convicted of a criminal offense? No. Right? Let me know if you have any questions about that. So, FERPA recommenders. This is an important section. You need to get these check marks. I got my green check mark next to the question section. Now I need to get this one. Complete and release the authorization. So this is something you have to do so that I can send related information about you, like your transcript, fee waivers, and other documents to the schools um, for you, right? So you're going to want to complete this in order to successfully complete your application. So sure, I've read this, I understand, and continue. I acknowledge that every school that I attend may release all requested records and recommendations to colleges to which I'm applying for admission. So if you agree, I'll waive my rights to reviewing all recommendations and supporting documents. So it's just letting them know that you're not going to make a fuss about it. I understand that my waiver and no waiver selection above pertains to all colleges which I apply. And then you put today's date here, save and close. All right, great. So they're going to let me supply information about you. Teachers, if your college requires a teacher letter of recommendation, and others. So as you scroll down this, you can see that it does say that one teacher is required to submit an evaluation. It doesn't say any other recommenders are required, but you can use 3 other optionals. I just recommend you meet the bare minimum requirement at the very least. We'll talk more about that if you think you want to invite other recommenders. But I do want to say, do not invite me, your counselor, Mr. Newton, as a recommender, or it does mess up some stuff in your application. Keep that in mind. All right. All right. So once you have a good understanding about these different things, you really don't have to do anything here, to be honest. We're going to do some more steps that are going to appease this teacher requirement. We'll do that in Naviance, and I'll teach you about that, if not in this video, on another one coming up. So click continue to keep moving. And now application submission. We have made it to the end of your Common App work here. Are you ready to review and submit your application to UC? The submission process includes the following steps: reviewing your application, paying a fee, but you don't have to worry about that because we waived them, and submitting your application. So it does say that they require an essay. That's going to be included. You can review your essay in step 1 of the submission process during the final review of your application. So here we go. Review and submit. So they just want you to look it over, make sure it looks accurate. You can download this. I do recommend you download it so you have it for your documentation, so you can have this information in the future if you need it. But once you believe that it is an accurate reflection of you, check that box and press continue. You've indicated in your application that you were requesting an application fee waiver. That's what you want to see here. You want to see that you're going to use a waiver, unless you just want to pay for it, but I don't recommend that. So if you don't see this box, let me know and I'll help you figure it out. Click continue. This is where they want you to certify that everything you put in here is accurate. So read these, make sure it's accurate, make sure it's something you agree with, and sign your name with today's date and submit. Congratulations. You have successfully applied to the University of Cincinnati. You can review the status of your common application requirements in your dashboard tab. Please make sure any incomplete requirements are submitted prior to the college's application deadline. University of Cincinnati has recommended certain next steps for your application process. You can access that information by clicking on the What's Next Below button. So celebrate. You can have a lot of fun. Just continuing to see confetti pop on your screen. And once you're ready, click What's Next. Thank you for applying to UC. Please note that we do not start reviewing applications until October and an order submitted. An application is not considered complete until all supporting documents are received. Recommendation letters are not required but are strongly encouraged. Depending on the program, review can take up to 3 weeks as we review holistically, which means they want to know everything about you, not just your grades and stuff. So they're going to read every section of your application, any letters of recommendation you provided, etc. Be sure to check your status portal in order to stay up to date with the progress of your application. In the meantime, you can learn more about University of Cincinnati by visiting our website or our campus. You can click OK and it will go somewhere else. You can click on these things and check your status of your application. Once you're ready, click OK. And it's going to let you know that you have submitted it. Again, this will take you back to that same page so you can go to those things. You can download your application. You can see just more information about your application on here. But other than that, you are done with your Common App. If you're only using it to apply to UC, you have met all of your requirements. Let me know if you have any other questions, but that should be a basic guide about how to use the Common App for your benefit if you're applying to UC. All right, have a good one, y'all.